What is going on YouTube? So in today's video we're going to be working on the Corvette and we're going to be changing quite a few parts. So if you're new to my channel, this is Chance's Garage. Right now we're building the C5 Corvette. If you haven't got caught up on the car being purchased itself and the mods that I've done, then go back and watch my last few videos. They'll get you up to date on everything I've done. But in today's video we're going to be focused on the radiator fans. I'm also going to change the water pump while I'm in there, because it'll be a lot more accessible. And then also we're going to be changing the intake. That should help with all the other mods that I've done. Now we're going to start with what I have. So this is the DeWitts fan. As you can see, DeWitts Radiator fans. And I bought these because they flow twice as much as the factory fans. And one thing you want to have on a Corvette or any car is a good cooling system. So I bought a cheap radiator to go with these, but the problem with this radiator is that it does not fit the fans. So this was a $189 radiator I bought from a company named Blytech on Amazon, which the radiator itself looks amazing, and it actually hurts me that I can't use it. The welds look great, everything looks good, the fittings. Like, I really wish that I could use this radiator, but it does not fit the fans. And one thing I'm not going to do is downgrade fans just to fit a radiator, especially with the Corvette. I want everything to be a certain way. So with that being said, I went ahead and went to Summit, and I went ahead and got a DeWitts radiator to go with the DeWitts fans. So you guys know how much that radiator costs. If you don't, it's almost $800. So that was very painful. And then while I was there, that's when I decided to go ahead and get the intake, the water pump, and everything else. One thing also I forgot to mention is I have a new radiator core support, because if you didn't see in the last video, mine is beat to hell. So I have to replace it. So this is that one. The welds on it don't look the greatest, but it will hold nevertheless, and it will look better than what's on there. So now we got all of that out the way. The first thing I got to do is I got to get the car in the air, and we need to drain all the radiator fluid out of the radiator that's currently in there. So let's go ahead and get straight to that. All right guys, welcome back. It is the very next day. So I got to work yesterday. I didn't record a lot of it, but let me just go over what we've done so far. So if you look down off in here, you can see that we have the radiator out and the fan. So this is the original radiator right here, and it looks fine, but it was leaking. Problem I had was the butterfly valve, which that's this piece right here. It was broken, so I ended up making a very huge mess yesterday. I just got fluid all over me, radiator fluid or coolant all over me, and yeah, so while we were in there, we went ahead and took the water pump off too. There's literally only 6 bolts that hold it in, and I realized that that was not a OEM water pump. It was not AC Delco or whatever brand they use, but this was some random aftermarket brand with no labeling, no telling. And lastly, there's our cold air intake. I did buy a not K&N, SLP Blackwing. That didn't fit. So for my guys that don't have C506s, do not buy the SLP Blackwing. It didn't fit for me. It may fit for my guys with the 0304s with the LS6 intake, but I'm not sure. Didn't fit for me. So I went and got the Volant, however you say it, cold air intake, and we're gonna throw that on. But for now, we need to get back to working on the Vet. All right, everyone, so we got the core support on. So let me get under here real quick. All right, so this is the new one, and everything went on except for one bolt that came out the frame, but that's from the previous one being so beat up. So yeah, everything fits up good and it's pretty solid. So now we're gonna put the thermostat back on the water pump that's somewhere around here, and then throw the radiator and fans back on. All right guys, so we got the radiator and the fans in, so let me go ahead and show you what we have. So everything went in, it lined up perfect, everything plugged in perfect. So this is the DeWitts radiator and radiator fan set up again, and everything lined up exactly how it would OEM. And for the price, I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less, but the quality so far seems pretty well. Now again, the factory radiator I had, or the cheap one I bought, it just didn't fit the DeWitts fans. That doesn't mean you can't use it, or doesn't mean that I can't use it. I just would have had to use it with the factory fans, which with where I'm going with this car, that just, I didn't want to downgrade my fans. I wanted to keep those DeWitts fans. I like the quality and the performance that they would have provided. So that's that. So we got the fans in, everything's plugged up. All I need to do is put the thermostat on. I ended up going back to a 187 degree thermostat because previously I had installed 160 degree because it was overheating. And with everything being upgraded now, the car is gonna cool a lot better than it was. So you don't want to have a 160 degree thermostat on the cooling system when it's upgraded or running or working how it should, just because the car will then be running too cool, and that's not healthy for the motor, and it won't be making as much power as it could be. So went ahead and went back to the 187 degree thermostat, and that was recommended by not only YouTube videos I watched, but one of my mechanic friends pretty much didn't even give me the option to run that thermostat. So previously I had this thermostat on here, which was a Lincoln filter, and also I somehow bent it on installation, so don't know how I did that there, but that's that. So the only things we have left to do are to put the belt tensioner on the thermostat and the hose running from the thermostat to the radiator, and once we do that, I'll be able to crank the car up for the first time. So I know I didn't go into depth on the installation just because I was trying to get it done. I've been here all day already, but if you want to see more in-depth videos, there are definitely better ones out there, and I knew that I couldn't explain it the way or as good as some of the other people that have done this have. So let me get everything on, and then I'll show you all the finished product. We'll get the first start. All right guys, so we got our new intake in, and I really struggled getting this thing on. I was fighting a coupler for at least 30 minutes to an hour, just this one coupler. The rest of it went on pretty decent, but yeah. And after all that fighting, I realized I forgot to put my cover, which is sitting right over here, that goes over the radiator, back on. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. That really sucks, because I'm probably gonna have to take the intake back off. So that really sucks, but we got everything else wired back up. I tried to fire my fans, or I used the remote switch, which I installed recently, to turn the fans on, but I got nothing. All right guys, so I never showed y'all the car, but as you can see, the intake is making the car go all kinds of crazy, so it is going to constantly beep. But I have been driving the car around. I just have to reset, have to do the idle reset procedure, and it'll clear it for a little while, but it'll keep coming back until I get it tuned. So that's that. So the fans do work. The car won't get up past about 190 to anywhere between 190 to 200. The fan comes on, and once it gets to about 220, it starts cooling right back down. And that's just the AC fan. The cooling fan does not work. I have a plug electrical issue somewhere that I gotta find when I get some time, but the AC fan alone is just keeping the car cool enough, which is why I bought the DeWitts fan. So I just wanted y'all to see the car running. I do have a lot more issues that I gotta resolve. Besides the fan, I have a bad axle, I believe, and a few other things, but that'll be for later videos. So just want y'all to see the car running, and that's that. So that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. No, it's all over the place, very random, not very specific on how to do the install and everything, but nevertheless, we got the job done. Now it's on to tackle the other issues and upgrade a few things before we get this tuned. So y'all stay tuned for the later videos, and subscribe if you're new. Leave a like on this video, even though it's very random. But as always, y'all take it easy, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.